Hello and welcome to Plymouth Library. I'm the librarian at Plymouth Congregational Church in downtown Seattle, and today I'm going to talk about choosing picture books to read aloud to very small children. The most important thing to remember is that you can tailor your book reading to meet the needs and interests and the attention span of your child. So I'm going to start with choosing books for babies because reading to babies is really important. Babies love, and recent studies have shown this, black and white silhouettes of simple shapes. So this board book by Tana Hoban has just what a baby would love to look at. Introduce books early on and you'll have a lifelong reader. Board books are as indestructible as you can get, so these are good books for a baby to actually touch and open. They can tear them, but this one is all about trucks, and it's good for a very young age group because the pictures are simple. There's no distracting background, and the colors are bright. And these are objects that a baby or a toddler might have seen. But there's another book. It's also a board book, and it's also about trucks, and it's also very good, but not so good for a little tiny baby or a small toddler. It depends on the development of the individual child. This shows trucks, but only a part of a truck, and so it's harder for the child to actually identify these things as trucks. But there are all sorts of other things that you can talk about. If the child doesn't realize that this is a truck, you can talk about the color. It's red. Here's green. What color is this? Yellow. Very young children love activity books, and the Spot books by Eric Hill are absolutely wonderful for a small child. They have very simple illustrations, very simple text, and you know how little children like to play peekaboo. So where's Spot? Is he behind the door? No. Is he inside the clock? No. Kids are going to just love that book. And here's another one called Hide and Seek Toys. It has photographs. Where's the car? And this one is really a lot harder for a very small child to identify the car. So on the next page shows the outline. There's the car. You can tell it's a car because it has two wheels. Can you count them? 1, 2. And there are other things that you can talk to the child about. What color is this? Is it green? And how many bars are there? Let's count the bars. So go beyond the text. You introduce concepts through alphabet books, counting books, books on colors and shape. But you can find all of these things in any sort of a storybook. Now, I want to show you a couple of alphabet books because not all alphabet books are age appropriate. These are alphabet books that aren't going to teach very small children the alphabet. They're better to use with an older child who looks at the picture and finds the N, for example, in a photograph of something that they might see when they're walking around on the street. This is an M, but it's really a bridge. Now, I really like this one, the graphic alphabet, and I'm going to share the letter V with you. V is for vampire. So there's the little vampire fangs. But those aren't good books to teach the alphabet to small children. This is I Spy Colors in Art. And of course there's the text, I spy with my little eye a purple square. So you can look for the purple square and it's right there, but you can also talk about everything else that's going on, about the different colors and the fact that some of these are rectangles and some are squares. This is something that you can do with an elementary school child. You can also talk about color mixing, how when you mix different colors you get another color. So some of these pictures are more sophisticated than others. In this one, I spy with my little eye a brown cow. There's the brown cow, but you can also say, where's the baby? There's a baby. And what colors do you see? Red, green, blue. So use the book in different ways. Now I brought along a storybook. This is a favorite book. For years and years, children have loved Make Way for Ducklings by Robert McCloskey. But if you're using it with a child who isn't quite ready, you'll discover that very quickly. You're reading the story about Mr. and Mrs. Mallard who are looking for a place to live, and you'll find that the child is getting restless and looking around and isn't really following the story. Don't just give up on the book and say, well, if you're not paying attention, I'm going to put this book away. Find things to talk about. Look at the pictures. What do you think is going to happen to these ducks? Are they going to find a house over here, or are they going to find a house over there? Where are they going to find a place to live? And so go through it pretty quickly. It's really handy if you've already read the story and you know the story. You can tell it in your own words and get through it quickly enough to keep the child's attention. Because with really small children, when you're reading a story, they like sing-songy stories. Dr. Seuss uses limited vocabulary in his books, really simple, strange-looking pictures in bright colors. Kids' attention will be kept by these books. Left foot, right foot, right. Feet in the morning, feet in the night. And pretty soon the child will be saying this right along with you. I just have two more books that I want to share. And they're both old favorites. The Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle. Now, what makes this a favorite book with children is the use of partial pages, cutouts, bright colors, simple pictures, and a story about a caterpillar who's very, very hungry. He started to look for some food. On Monday, he ate through an apple, but he was still hungry. On Tuesday, he ate through 2 pears, but he was still hungry. So what's the next one going to be? If we had Monday and Tuesday, next it's going to be Wednesday, and he's going to eat through 3 plums. So there are all sorts of things you can talk about, the days of the week. The colors, because the plums are purple, the pears were green, the apple was red. So you're talking about colors and days of the week and numbers, because next comes on Thursday he ate through 4 strawberries. And he was still hungry. And you'll notice, too, that there's the little caterpillar. And there he is again. Now, one of the stranger books, or I think it's sort of strange, is Goodnight Moon. It has a really unusual color palette. The illustrations are a little bit strange. The words are, children just love this book. Goodnight Moon by Margaret Wise Brown with pictures by Clement Hurd. In the great green room there was a telephone and a red balloon and a picture of the cow jumping over the moon. And there were 3 little bears sitting on chairs, and 2 little kittens and a pair of mittens, and a little toy house and a young mouse. This book has soothing sounds. It's going to lull the child to sleep. But it also has all sorts of things you can look at and talk about in the pictures. So use the book the way you want to use it and have fun reading to your small children.